Hello, welcome back to my channel if this is your first time here. Hi, I'm Cassidy. If it's not, thanks for always tuning into my videos. Today, I need to add more books to my December TBR. If you haven't already watched Snakes and TBR Stacks, you should go do that because my TBR pile is already absolutely insane because of the game and reading plans that I have for this month. But on top of that, I did kind of want to participate in some readathons. So I am loosely, and I mean loosely, participating in 3 readathons this month. So, my TBR is insane, and I don't have time to read all these books, and I don't really think I will read all these books, but I'm gonna try. The first readathon that I will be loosely participating in is Predictathon, which is hosted by Lexi over at Books with Lexi. This is a readathon all about trying to read 5-star predictions, which we like 5-star predictions. With this readathon, I think there are 5 prompts in total, and you're allowed to use one book for as many prompts as you want. I, of course, did not do that. I did not use one book. I chose to hate myself. Or love myself, depending on how you look at it. The first prompt is to read a book from a previous 5-star author. I have 2 choices for this one. I'm gonna leave my choices a little bit more free. The first one is continuing with John Gwynne and reading A Time of Dread, which is the first book in the Blood and Bone saga. So this is in the same world that The Faithful and the Fallen is. It's just so many years later, and it's a trilogy. And once I finish The Faithful and the Fallen this month, I can continue with this one, and I love John Gwynne, so this could be a really good contender. The other one could be Darcy Coates. I don't have a specific Darcy Coates in mind, but I've been on a Darcy Coates binge, and I have given one book previously from Darcy Coates a 5-star. So I could continue and read more Darcy Coates. I don't know which one, but Darcy Coates. The next prompt is to read your favorite trope. So I have 2 options again. I have The Pariah by Anthony Ryan. I love a revenge fantasy tale. I just completely know that's something I adore. In The Pariah, we're following a bandit who ends up joining he ends up joining the army and working for this royal person who has demonic dreams, and he's trying to just survive day to day just so that he can exact his revenge eventually. That was a butchered synopsis, but yeah, this one. I could also do Saint's Blood by Sebastian de Castell, which is Great Coats, the 3rd book. I have adored the first 2 books. I don't know how I haven't continued this. It's a little chunky, but I do need audiobooks this month, and I know I have the audiobook available to me. Traitor's Blade, for a favorite trope, it's just like this style of fantasy. It's like a medieval fantasy with men that are kind of have a little bit of humor. Like a band of people that have like a little bit of humor. I really enjoy that type of fantasy. Traitor's Blade follows our 3 protagonists who used to be the Great Coats, which used to be kind of like the king's first swords, but the king died and left them all with one final mission, and now they're trying to go on that final mission, which is pretty much to unite the lands. And the next prompt is a book that someone with similar reading taste to you has given 5 stars. I originally went to Mel, and I went through Mel's Goodreads and was like, okay, me and Mel are like 1 for 1. Like, we're pretty much on par with our thoughts. So what book can I read? Being on par with your thoughts means I have pretty much read almost all of her 5 stars, or she's like me and doesn't give out a lot of 5 stars because our thoughts are so similar. So of course we're very in tune. So that, I scrapped that. But I did see that she had given Project Hail Mary 5 stars, but I don't have Project Hail Mary. But I do have The Martian, and so I went to The Martian, and Erin from Booked and Busy has given The Martian 5 stars, and me and Erin also have similar thoughts and feelings, and I felt like that really worked, so I will be reading The Martian for this prompt. I actually have really wanted to read Andy Weir for a while, but I knew I wanted to start with The Martian and then move over to Project Hail Mary. I didn't want to do it in the reverse order. The next prompt is a book you've been putting off, but you think will give 5 stars, and for this, I've chose The 5th Season by N.K. Jemisin. I don't know anything about The 5th Season, so I can't tell you anything about it, but I've heard from multiple people that they think it could be my kind of story, and my sister loved it, so, and I've heard N.K. Jemisin's writing is just very, very beautiful, so I'm excited for it, and I've been putting it off because it just scares me, but I do think I'm really gonna love it, so that's that prompt. And the last one is your most 5-star genre, which is fantasy, so any fantasy book on this list I've previously talked about will just count for this prompt. I decided to be easy on myself for once. Thanks Lexi for putting together this readathon. I'm very, very excited to take part of it. If you don't already subscribe to her, you should go check out her channel. She reads horror, thrillers, a little bit of sci-fi, and she does reading sprints and hosts a lot of readathons. And yeah, I really enjoy Lexi. I will link her announcement video down in the description bar. The next readathon that I am loosely participating in is the Reindeerathon. I got sorted into Team Stalking, which worked really well for me because it's Kristen from Kristen Craves Books team, and that's the team I wanted. It's literally secretly the team I was really hoping I'd get. So thanks to the sorting hat for putting me in the right spot. This is very loose. There is a lot of prompts and there's just points for them, and I haven't really even thought about what books I'm going to read for it. Off the top of my head, let's read these prompts. Finish a series, which also could count as just being like caught up on a series. I could do like Jade Legacy, because I haven't finished that yet, and that's the last book that I have to read. I could do like Cytonic by Brandon Sanderson. That would get me caught up. Yeah, I could do those. An elegant font on the cover is the next one. I think that I would probably count Dread. I think it's in an elegant like cursive font. The V in the Umbral Storm is in a cursive font. Tethered Spirits, the R's go woo. Does that count? I'm counting it. The next one is favorite season on the cover. That is fall. I do like fall. Does A Touch of Light count? Because A Touch of Light. A book you want to read but might be overhyped. I think the 5th season counts for this one. I think it really does. An a word on the cover that has to do with like astronomy. Okay? I don't think I at the top of my head I can't do this one, but we will come back to it when it comes to reading plans. That one's worth 25 points. I really should get that one done. Favorite trope, we could do the same ones I've already said for Predictathon. So the Pariah, I think A Touch of Light also counts because it's military fantasy. Sebastian de Castell, I think the Umbral Storm would also count because it's just like classic fantasy. A book you want to read but not a fan of the cover. The 13th Hour by Trudy Skies. I hate this cover. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. A number generator 1 to 9 and a book that ends in that. I'm too lazy to do that right now. I'm honestly just too lazy. But when it comes to reading, I could do that. And then to start a new series, which any SPFBO book pretty much counts as a new series. So one of those, or the 5th season also counts. Or the Pariah also counts. I got a lot of new series. I just went through and did a list of all the series I'm currently working on, and the amount I started this year is insane. Insane. I have a problem. And then again, thank you to anyone who put on this readathon. I will link Christian's announcement video because that's where I found the whole readathon through in my description bar for anyone else to check out. I loved the idea of just being randomly sorted into your teams. And then the last readathon that I am loosely participating in, which this one's kind of easy, so this one probably will get read, is the Christmas Evil Readathon. One of my goals this year was to read more horror, and I really slacked at that until about a month ago when I went on a Darcy Coates binge, so I wanted to kind of keep that momentum going into December and read some more horror, so then in January I can make it a goal again to read more horror, because it is a genre I really like. The last 3 years I've had a horror on my top 10 list. I know I like horror books. My love for them just gets lost in my love for epic fantasy. This is a bingo style readathon, so I am only going to be doing 3 prompts from this readathon to get myself a little line across. Actually, I think it's a diagonal line. I will be using the Ghost or Haunting, which is easily probably any Darcy Coates book. I know I have her short story collections here that I could read if I don't want to read a full-length novel, but also will this be the month that I finally read Horror Store? It could be. It could be. And then I will be using Winter Setting, which I love a winter setting horror, so my options for this are Stolen Tongues by Felix Blackwell. I need to read this. I've been saying I was going to read this for literally a year. And then the other one I really want to read is The Visitor by Sergio Gomez, which is a Christmas short story horror book that I'm very excited for. I think that one will for sure get read. And then I also have a mood read, which I will leave open to myself to be pretty much any horror book that I want to read at the time. It could be another Darcy, it could be Stolen Tongues, it could be Horror Story. It literally, whatever I decide to read will work for a mood read, because that's how I roll with my mood reads. I just kind of leave it up to when I'm in the mood to read that book, I read that book, which those 3 get me a diagonal bingo, and I'm excited about that. Again, thank you to anyone who put on this readathon. I will have announcement videos linked in the description bar below. I'm very excited to participate in a horror readathon. This will be my first horror readathon that I'm actively participating in, so that has me excited to connect with more people in the horror sphere. I have an insane TBR for this month, which I will not get through, as I said. It's mostly just going to be things I end up reading. I'm going to try and read. I have to read the SPFBO finalists, so that takes up most of my time, but I am hoping to get some of these in. I've just overall really liked reading Darcy Coates, so I have a feeling I will pick up another one of hers for sure, but everything else is kind of just up for whatever happens. And I think Christmas Day I might sit down and read that Christmas short story. It just sounds like a fun time, or like Christmas Eve or something. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the new year and what that's going to bring for readathons, and let me know if you're participating in any readathons or any of these readathons, and if you'd like to just leave me an emoji because you're not feeling chatty, you can leave me a Christmas tree emoji. And then if you'd like to connect with me on other platforms, my Bookstagram, my Book Twitter, my Goodreads, and my Patreon, all linked in the description bar below. Have yourselves an absolutely spooktacular day.